Hello everyone, I was about to do some falsetto, but I utterly failed. My name is Exabu, and today we're gonna play a game that is allegedly like Disco Elysium. So, yeah, Citizen Sleeper. Full disclosure, I've bought this game with my own money. I looked at its description. Let's just read the blurb, and we'll start with a little buzzer game, so that I think it kind of is appropriate for setting the mood. So, role-playing in the ruins of interplanetary capitalism. From the developer of In Other Waters, a game that actually isn't on my wishlist, I haven't played it. It looks beautiful, and featuring the stunning character of art of Guillaume Saint-Gelais. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative RPG set on Ellen's Eye, a ruined space station that is home to thousands of people trying to survive on the edges of an interstellar capitalist society. You are a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body owned by a corporation that wants you back. Thrust amongst the unfamiliar and colorful inhabitants of the Eye, you need to build friendships, earn your keep, and navigate the factions of this strange metropolis. If you hope to survive to see the next cycle. Obviously, because this is science fiction, and we have cycles instead of months or something. I also appreciate that they use British spelling, which just kind of makes me hopeful, and I'm totally being not being like anti-American or something. But I always appreciate. I use British spelling, Commonwealth essentially spelling in speech. I almost said in writing. So yeah, I kind of always. Oh, you are like me. I appreciate that, and let's get to the game, and I haven't played it. I only tested it to make sure that it actually works, and let's look where it leads me. So let's start with a new game. I've heard that. Well, once again, I've read some of the reviews, and they say, "Oh yeah, this is like Disco Elysium," and it's also overwhelmingly positive reviews, like 95%. And for me, Disco Elysium is a pivotal game. I think like Disco Elysium really changed the genre and created this story-heavy, created like a story-heavy RPG genre that is really more RPG than say just an adventure game with some RPG mechanics. So I think I think I already mentioned in my previous streams that I believe that Disco Elysium is like this game that essentially like made this very important impact on the genre, and there is the spirit before Disco Elysium and after Disco Elysium. And well, let's see if this game is a real good follower of that game, or if it has to do it with anything to do with that game. So we'll figure that out. I'm really hoping this game will not be a combat heavy. That's one of the things I really enjoy about Disco Elysium, is that there is no combat, and I think that's a very good thing. I think it's in many RPGs, like in generally in the RPG genre, the necessity for combat is an atavism. Essentially, is an atavism of Dungeons and Dragons. Essentially, the fact that the creators of Dungeons and Dragons were wargamers, and I'm not saying I'm not criticizing wargamers or anything. Like, obviously, I'm one of them. I'm one of us. Yes. I'm saying that essentially, like the creators of Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, yes, get some drugs on your dungeons. So they essentially wanted a fantasy version of war games that they loved, right? So with fewer Nazis and more like wizards or something, and like maybe some story elements, obviously, because it's fantasy tends to be that. And I found that, like, yeah, and we're getting all of that. We're getting, like, and we've got, like, subgenres that focus predominantly on that. Diablo, essentially, and all of its clones, and all of the games that came out of that subgenre. Right, so... And then we had this kind of essentially more honest renditions of Dungeons and Dragons, at least in the way that focuses on combat and adapted to PvE games, PvE playstyle, like obviously Baldur's Gate and everything, and like some of the RPG games that came before that. but it's still like very combat heavy. Even the games, even the RPGs were like supposed to view as text heavy, as story heavy, starting from Fallout, Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 1 to it has a crappy story, to be honest. Like the writing side of it, in my opinion, not as great as some people believe it to be, and starting from that and ending with more modern games like Pillars of Eternity, obviously like one of the oldest ones also, like Planescape Torment, for example, the new ones up to like Baldur's Gate 3, up to, which I'm yet to play actually, up to Tyranny, up to all of these games, they still have a huge element of combat, and I believe that this is unnecessary. And like why Disco Elysium was so great is that while it was combat free, it wasn't just an adventure game. It wasn't just a clicker. Oh yes, do something like solve a puzzle, click the right thing to progress. Essentially, I actually this weekend I actually played a game like that. I'll probably discuss it today, and they didn't do that. Just that. Your choices, your character progression, your level ups all matter in what you do and in how your game will be, what your game will be like. So it is a much truer experience in terms of RPG. It's not just a combat game with some dialogue in it. And so, yeah, I believe that Disco Elysium is very much a pivotal game, and I hope that this is going to make me very happy. So we've got a couple of types of characters. So we have the operator, we've got the machinist, who's straddling a weird object. I'm assuming there's some sort of a stalker dismantler, recycler kind of thing. So machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually intelligent, careful, and structured people. So yeah, I'm assuming that's roughly the thing. So, engage, engineer, interface. So I'm assuming interface is hacking, engineer kind of, well, work with machines and physical tools, endurance, strength. Yeah, I kind of see that this game is probably not going to be very combat heavy or not have any combat at all, because like even strength, even endurance has this kind of Disco Elysium vibe in that, yeah, in Disco Elysium you have like these physical traits, you have strength, you have like all of the weird things that like physical instrument, I love that phrase. Like if you like beef up, if you lift, bro, you become a physical instrument. You get like muscles in your under your skin and become, well, yeah, can do other things you couldn't do before. And essentially, like, but all of those things, well, obviously, like hand-to-eye coordinations, all of those things, like dexterity, but they are always tied to specific dialogues, they're tied to specific things in Disco Elysium, and here I see the same thing. It's like clearly not gonna be, oh yeah, like we've got 18 strength, it's gonna give you a +1 to hit and +3 to damage, or I think it was +2 to damage. And 19, you've got +2 to hit and +5 to damage. That's AD&D, like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2.5, essentially. Yeah, get that Girdle of Stone Giant. Yeah, why did I go to like, yeah, get that Girdle of Stone Giant. Yeah, where did that come from? Anyway, so we've got endurance, we've got intuit, approach problems with awareness. So I'm assuming this is some sort of intelligence. And engage, approach a problem head on. This is interesting. So we're bad at that. So we're kind of we're shut-ins, we're hikikomoris. Anyway, so let's look at operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. So we are kind of pathetic weaklings, but we're essentially we're the hacker type. So we're good at like interfacing with the machine, but like they'll get like the robots beat us up. Okay. Other robots beat us up. And so we've got the extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction. you know, shit, Sherlock. Often in hard vacuum environments, sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Yeah, they can take the hustle. Alright, so, yeah, they've got strength, and we don't, like, we don't have wisdom. So, like, we don't have, kind of, we're slightly sluggish on that, but, like, generally in social things, we're okay. That's my assumption. I haven't played this bloody game. And generally, to be honest, my immediate, generally in these kinds of games, my immediate compulsion is to go for strength. I want to do the strength character. I did that in just Disco Elysium. I just went like all out, like into the strength, bodily capability. I usually want to do like, because quite often these games are like, they incentivize your. They incentivize you playing like as the sneaky person, doing hacking and everything. And I try to disrupt that and maybe like make my life difficult for myself. And that's how I played Fallout 1 when it just came out and I played it. I played a dumb, strong character with very few action points. It was incredibly difficult. Anyway, so, yeah, let's go for Extractor. What's this? Oh, we have special abilities. And so we've got perk photosynthetic skin. Oh, nice. So we've got like algae. We've got green algae on our skin. And oh god, we are androids. Sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. Oh, nice. What? Oh crap. Okay, like this. Okay, I'm assuming this is gonna be a cutscene. No. Oh, like imagine, like now I'm looking forward to transhumanism. Screw mechanical hands or whatever. I want to have photosynthesis in my skin. Imagine like if instead of just being like a himbo and going to the beach and just doing let me slightly reduce the volume of the music, even though it's great. Imagine if you're a himbo or shimbo, bimbo or a himbo, and you go to the beach and get that wonderful tan in addition to melanoma, and yeah, like it's just the color. And, like, imagine if you go to, like, to the beach and it's fun and it's nice and warm and some beach games and whatever in the sea or lake, whatever. And then you, like, also get nourishment. You don't need to eat or, like, buy any food. Oh, I've consumed the power of the sun. And also, like, reduce the quantity of CO2 in the atmosphere at the same time. It's wonderful. I'm really looking forward. Screw all of these neural implants, like, connection to, like, it's bullshit. Oh, you want to play, like, video games with your implants, with your brain directly, and, like, controllers are worthless. But this is useful. I think it's useful. The next bit is, like, excreting poop through your skin in ways that are disgusting. That's useful. That's useful. Anyway, the first thing you become aware of on walking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. So, we've got items and data, and I'm getting real Disco Elysium vibes here. That makes me very unhappy, because when I first bought Disco Elysium, I played it through twice. One playthrough after another. I played it for like 50 hours, obviously with sleep, but it was like the rest of it was mostly playing Disco Elysium. And so, yeah. I've got terrible feelings about it. So, it's at worst, it's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt to be like, to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Screw it. I forgot about that body. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment you to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another, smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. This is kind of a Matrix thing. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreats a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know, pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Okay. So, like, still very cryptic, so we can remember the plan, or remember the others. Let's think about the we are the extractor, and we are the, like, this strong person. Okay, let's remember the others. We're not hikikomoris. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day until they realized that had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Oh, nice. By the way, like, indentured servitude is something some of those private corporations are kind of thinking these visionaries of space exploration are kind of really playing with and considering this is cool, because it's not something that we saw in colonization of the Americas. In addition to, like, all of the perils, let's say, of colonization in so many ways, there were also indentured servants coming from Europe. Some were lost in the shaft. They say shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. What that feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. I'm assuming, so we've kind of run away from some sort of a place, some sort of a, well, like sweatshop or whatever. So, okay, let's try to rest. Let's be optimistic. Like, we are strong and dumb, even though, like, that's a stereotype. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy for as much as possible, but even then, your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Oh, this writing is lovely. Rest! Let's rest! Time passes. The cold creeps further in. Okay, you feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints released from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its senses. Then light. Oh wow. Okay. This is kind of, I don't have a good feeling about this. White as the cold, then softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. This is gonna be an anal probe in situation. You are out. Oh. Okay, so we are in some sort of, ring-shaped space station or spaceship. I'm assuming, like artificial gravity. And this immediately reminds me of Startopia, which is a management game, essentially building a circular, ring-shaped space station. And so I'm assuming we only have this, like, selection of locations, I'm assuming. So we've got Dragos, or Dragos, a pragmatic salvager. Oh, so it's a contact. It's a contact. And this guy has seen things. Look at those bottles. It's a water bottle, like, hopefully it's a water bottle, it's not like turpentine or something. And like all of these like scrounge up things, and this spider bot that has these eerily organic legs. This is beautiful. I love this. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. I was almost read it as improvised theater. Okay, so we're essentially in a scrapyard. We've been found. And he's like Dragos is a pragmatic and private salvager. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds from along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. Oh, there's gonna be a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? Sure, almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have been bitter perseverance in Sub-Zero Vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside or outer rocks in my time. Though one so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. Anyway, on his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. This thing is creepy. The spider boss is creepy. Like, look at these legs. They're, like, weirdly organic. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to reach his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. So we can plans to survive, we can ask what happened to them, and we can stay silent. So, strong silent type, or maybe... Yeah, let's be strong non-silent type. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Okay, so... Okay, I'm guessing this is a bit of exposition into the world, so I'm assuming that the corporation is kind of holding our body, and so they transferred our mind into an android, and essentially we do work for them, and so the body is kind of this collateral. Okay. So you nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do... you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There was no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNL wants to protect their property, but they can't keep hold of you. Well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered... a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? Well, it's not exactly planned obsolescence. It's pretty much kind of this transhumanist drug addiction, essentially. Or, like, designer addiction. In that you create this, this loop that, like, binds people, right? it's not really planned obsolescence, because like planned obsolescence, it means that like no matter what you do, you become obsolescent and die effectively, or are destroyed, are dismantled, decommissioned, whatever. So it's like deliberately reducing the capabilities of a product, or its durability, or its capacity to like work and work and work, deliberately to doing that to, well, to make people buy more. Right, so that's planned obsolescence. This is not planned obsolescence, so like it's slightly different. Anyway, but for now, Sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. So, what is the Eye? Is this some sort of a 10 forward, some sort of a inn, tavern, at the station? You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There is an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Alright, so we've got a home. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily guess who you fees. And let's nod. Alright, you head up on there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the ranks, his drones already converging on a rustling hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Alright. So, we have finally got to the tutorial. So, welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Okay, so we've got our empty container. I don't think there is anything else. So we can view our character. Okay, so we've got our upgrade points. Interesting. And... oh, I see. Oh, and so it's just like 1 or 2 upgrade points. So I'm guessing these points are very, very uncommon. So it's like just 10 of them. Oh, interesting. So, oh yeah, I actually can compensate the lack of intuition. And so, interesting. So, let me see. Oh, yeah. So, synthetic skin, and so we've got hard to kill, so we've got, like, different abilities, essentially, and I'm assuming this actually also might adjust my die rolls. But anyway, let's continue with the tutorial. Let's see what happens. So, empty container, you're home for now. And all cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. So let's end the cycle. Let's see what happens. Well, nothing happens. New day starts. New cycle starts. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed, its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Mylar. Mylar has this vibe of like old-timey sci-fi words. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? So, we can, like, what matters? Escape, getting answers, building a life. And I have a feeling that building a life, like, makes sense, like, in line with all of our previous choices, because getting answers, we don't have anything to go with. Like, there is no, like, things to avenge or whatever. And so escape, I don't know, like, this kind of, like, this character doesn't look like an escaper. So let's build a life. We're extracting resources. We're trying to do something. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything, there is a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. Oh, desiccated powder. Oh, desiccated powders are usually fun. You thumb the power stud on the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. It's gonna be like ramen or something. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There is something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best as you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay. So, we've got 3 new concepts. So we've got condition, which represents the current state of our artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but it can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, okay, we suffer a breakdown. So we'll have to find ways to kind of maintain a condition. So this is kind of a timer for us, in the way that, like, every cycle will lose it, and we can actually lose it because of things. So we've got action dice. Okay, so I see. So the top bar is our health, essentially, the condition. So we've got our action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. Oh, nice. This is board game stuff. I always love it. So at the beginning of your round, like in a board game, like in a Euro board game, you've got, like, you roll your dice, and then you try to assign them. This is wonderful. This is like Taverns of Tiefenthal, like Alien Frontiers, like all these games. This is brilliant. So probably gonna allocate them, which is wonderful. Oh my god, I love this. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of these dice rolled is based on your current condition. So the worse your condition, the less dice you have. I'm assuming it really directly depends on the bar. So if it goes beyond this, like if I lose this little cube there, this little rectangle, little line, so I'm gonna lose my 4th die. So and I've got energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. And you really need your energy bars in this game. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food and currency to buy it. And so, if it becomes empty, you'll be starving and your condition will deplete at the double rate per cycle. So this is going to be a kind of a penalty, but not immediate penalty. I'm assuming breakdown is a bad thing with condition. And also, like, I already love this interaction between these 3 concepts. Because you want to, like, you want to keep your condition up. I'm suspecting this is going to be pretty difficult. But not only because it will probably end the game if you go down to 0, it also reduces what you can do, but also you've got energy, which may screw with your condition if you don't pay attention to it. This is interesting. I love these interactions between these different mechanics. This smells like really nice game design. So, and I'm assuming... Okay, what can I do? Oh, okay, let's leave the container. So, Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. I've almost quipped that it was probably, like, nailed to his head, because it looks like that, or, like, stapled to his head. So, well, essentially it is. A drone sits on his shoulder. It's almost said cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Well, like, okay, I'm guessing 4 dice out of 5 is pretty decent. So the drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but I'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? What is work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. So he's gonna become our boss. He's gonna become our exploiter. At the yards, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, we sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for Creo. Obviously, it's Creo, not crypto. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? Is it like the monies? These, he pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use to trade out here. He stuffs them back in her pockets. Okay, so it's like gold-plated latinum, essentially. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleep as well. He trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, I need the help. All right, so let's be like a proactive one. Let's say we are happy to help. Okay. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. All right. Brilliant, will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, Droner helping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Let's do this. All right, so we've got our home, which we have just left. I'm assuming it's not going to be anything else. We've got passage into the low end, which is a slightly funny name. Let's touch your low end. And we can go to Dragos' yard. So it's a decaying scrapyard, and I'm assuming this is going to be work. And I wonder what this is. This symbol of... I'm assuming this might be like a repeatable action, and this is going to be a unique action. So let's go to this yard. Let's see what it's like. I'm kind of slightly afraid of going exploring, but work I do know. Okay. So, another tutorial bit. So, actions are the primary way to interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action die. Your chosen action die. Die. Dice is plural, die is singular. Like, people, have almost forgotten about that. Anyway, to the slot. Alright, so we've got these different actions. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. And negative, the action fails. Okay, so essentially the value on the die essentially determines what we get in terms of the doing the action. So 1 and 2 is 50-50 if it's neutral or failure. 3 and 4 25% failure and 50 neutral and 25% positive. 5 50-50 positive neutral, and 6 is insta win essentially. Alright, so alright, so next page. So we've got types of actions. So it's either critical or repeatable. And critical actions can only be performed once, and I'm assuming that symbol of recycling, the circular arrows, moving in a circle, right? So the rotating circular arrows, they essentially probably are repeatable. So we've got risk, so safe, risky, or danger, and essentially the risk determines what effects we're gonna get. So yeah, so safe, there's no losses. Risky, if we get a bad result, we're gonna lose cryo, i.e. money, or energy, which is food. And danger, even neutral stuff can actually do something bad, and negative will reduce a condition, which will essentially damage us. And so we've got skills are necessary for that action, and modifier based on our skill. Oh, I see. So it's a very simple system. So we've got our dice, which kind of determine the probability depending on the value, which determine the potential outcome, whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. And so our skill really, in addition to that special ability, essentially modifies that die result. And so, for example, I've got like +1 on that strength thing, endurance thing, so any things that requires endurance, like this manual salvage, is going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to hard labor, so like we're pretty much not strangers to hard labor. We're gonna do that probably like immediately. And we've got a +1. Okay, so our abilities. Can I look at myself? Can I look at my? I can. Oh, you can just leave and look at myself. So I've got +1 endurance and -1 intuit. So 0 in engineer, and so we can go hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. But we don't have any engineer. And it's a risky thing, so if we fail, we might lose some food or money, right? And so we've got a debt call-in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and he misses a payment, or two things could get nasty. Okay, so this is cycle clock and something. I don't know what this is. Back in business, every salvager knows that they're always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. This is some sort of an effect that we need to reach, or might reach. So I'm assuming this is some sort of a plot point that will happen or not happen if we do things. But I will try to input dice. So we've got manual salvage. And so... it's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. Yeah, I've read that. And so we've got a bunch of dice. We've got a +1. And so, if I use a 1, it's going to be 50-50 neutral negative. But this is a safe action, so if I get a negative, it's not going to be terrible, right? So if I take 3, it's not going to change anything. If I take 4... right, it's gonna turn it into a 5 and increase, like, there's no chance of a negative, and they're like 50% of a positive. But I have a feeling that I should actually go for the 1, because, like, these dice are actually crap, to be honest. Because, it's... like, 4 is the only one where I get a bonus from my +1 ability. Right, 1 doesn't change anything, it turns into 2, so it's the same probabilities. 3 turns into a 4, it's the same probabilities. So let's use up 1, it's a safe ability. Yeah, if I fail, like, no biggie, I hope. So let's start the action. Let's do some work. And... so, actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. They can track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. Okay, so we've got this cycle clock. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay, so we've got this debt call in, so if we don't do anything, and minus probably means a negative thing. And so we've done the action, and I wonder if I am assuming, is there a way for me to actually, oh, I've got some money, I've got a fiver for it. I've got a fiver, I'm a rich guy now. I can go for like a hull dissection and try and I'm probably looking for like a big break, as a stalker, as the stalker is the wrong, like a stalker is the like it's a specific term from the game and the books, like really like the salvager, really. So, like riskies can be pretty nasty. You know what? Let's try this. I'm gonna go with a 6. So the 6 gives me like 100% positive, and with a 4 gives me 25% negative. I'm gonna risk it. Let's go for it. One in 4 is a negative, so like it's a good chance of actually getting a really nice result. Let's see what happens. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives. Okay, another tutorial. So as you discover more about yourself and the world, drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive you will place a yellow mark on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. And so you are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try hacking a drive to help you survive. Tracking a drive. Okay, so drive is essentially like maybe a suggestion, a hint of what we need to do and where we need to go. So we need to look for food to keep our energy up in a way to recover our condition. So we need to find ways to kind of counteract that kill switch. It's essentially a kill switch. It's like in Deus Ex, right? So if you betray UNATCO, if you betray the Illuminati, they will try to kill you with a word, a specific set of a specific code word, right? So and no, I don't remember the code words for Navarre or like the German guy. Anyway, so it's yeah, I wanted orange. They gave me a lemon lime. Anyway, fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Let's see. Okay, so I've got I'm assuming a positive outcome. So I've got 15 cryo, and we got some progress on back in business, which is nice. And we've got a thing. We need to find a doctor. So we need to repay Dragos. So Dragos pulled you out of the salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. And the other one is survive. No specific goals. So we need to help him pay off his debt. I'm assuming like getting him back in business is a good idea. The other one is survive. So you need to access the you need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. And I really don't want my my condition to fall like even one bit, because I'm suspecting if I lose one bar, I'm gonna lose one of my dice, and I really don't want to do that. I don't want that to happen. So you know what? I'm gonna go like to other locations. I'm gonna try and find a doctor. I've got like 20 cryo. So I'll try to go and explore. Oh, nice. So we've got more locations. So let's look. So we've got Dock C4, very explosive place. Rotunda Wet Dock. Okay. So another Rotunda Wet Dock, B2. And so we've got the Rotunda Old Dock Terminal. We've got an open market, and yeah, another, probably like a transfer to another section. So we've got the shipyard. We can actually help here as well. We can haul materials, and we are good at that. We are physical instruments. And we can assist the shipbuilder, which is maybe less interesting. Alright, so, you know what? I'm gonna go to the market. Like, we've got the Bright Market. Bustling open market. Let's see what it looks like. So, we can actually do a few actions here. We can do local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. So we can explore the market, and we're terrible at that. We have terrible intuition, so we've got... Yeah, like maybe we can use a 6 to do that, so that it turns into a 5 and like a 50-50 positive neutral outcome, and it's a risky thing. And we can ask for directions. So this is a very seedy place, so it's a dangerous action. So like we can actually like stumble upon someone really dangerous, and it's gonna be horrible. So why wonder when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? So it's like the bright quote-unquote market, so it's really the black markets. And all you need is the courage to approach them. Okay. So, so we can explore, and, like, or we can engage. Yeah, I really need to find something here. So I'm gonna engage. This is a dangerous action, but I'm gonna get an auto win. So 100% positive outcome. Let's see where it leads me. Because like the risky danger and everything else bit is actually depends, like determines what we get or what we suffer from when we fail, and I'm not gonna fail. So let's get an auto win here. So we've got some local knowledge. So you end up at a drink stall debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You try to remember all the tips your companions offer you. So we've got some local knowledge. And so the action is unavailable anymore, so I'm assuming it's like more a repeatable action. And so where can how can I exploit this? Okay, so we've got a new drive discovered. Oh, we found new places. Excellent. So we found a doctor. We've found a food place. Emphis. Yes. Like right next to Ebes and Xandria. All right. And I think that's it. So we found the doctor. The doctor? The hell is this? It's like a floating bus. Anyway, so we've got, like, that's pretty much it. So, like, these new locations are old, and I'm assuming they might actually be places where we can do, yeah, like, they're pretty much unavailable right now. We can't do anything, so salvage sortie probably means that we can actually go on some sort of a mission outside the station, which is kind of promising. I'm looking forward to it. This is interesting. So, Helion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. So, like, these are expeditions, essentially. And so, let's go for the doctor. Let's see what they have to offer. Next! Comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down as your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hub block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Alright, so let's look at the enforcer. Like, oh, you tough? You tough? The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry through those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Oh, that's creepy. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers? You aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, your figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one into zero! The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market-sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. Come! Come! Sit! Comes a sharp... Come! Sit! Comes a sharp voice as you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns as they do see you... as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit! They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. Oh, this is gonna be fun! Like, this is the kind of tools you're gonna pay for! You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please! Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. Oh yeah, they know what's gonna happen to you. They know. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles? Like, really, just one? They nod. It's good you came to me, they said, the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. Okay, that's, well, in fairness, that's a fair assumption, but, like, yeah. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. I already starting to love this character. Your body is dying! They said without... Okay. The body is dying! They said without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. So, your body is dying. I don't know, like it's a weird mixture of emotions. SNL doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNR remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes? Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulators like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Oh shit. Now we're screwed completely. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness on their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro aside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan, i.e. the big sword, like, inwards curving sword. Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. 4 dots as an ellipsis. This pisses me off. This is really pisses me off. Like 4 dots. It has to be. It's always 3. It's 3 people. It's 3. It's not 2. It's not 4. It's not 12. It's 3. Orthotypography. Come on, learn that word and like look it up. Sabine sets down their notes complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Alright, why help me? Why should you help me? Sabine walks away to the window. Oh, does that movie thing when they like turn away from their interlocutor, from the other person, and look out the window or into the camera. Like nobody talks like that. Yeah, that's a movie cliche. Walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first, and let you know I have a lead. You nod and leave. Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the markets, you look back out through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the markets. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. So, we'll have to wait. So this part is kind of, yeah, we'll have just to wait. We'll probably get some message of sorts. So we've got actually a new drive. We've got a new kind of purpose for our life. So we've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship-mined core. Okay, I don't know what that is. You know what? Let's go and eat. I'm assuming like 20 is gonna give me some food. Alright, so we've got Emphis, an imposing street food vendor, nuclear vessels. Like, let's tend to our base needs. And this guy's impressive. So, like the doctor was the more androgynous type, the muscular person, that Emphis is. Like this is cool. This is a cool person. I want to know this person. I love the art. Look at this, like, all of this food in the plastic container, like this Tupperware thing, and like all of these weird little items on the back. Like all of the different foods here and there, and patches on the trousers. Like, these are actually boots. Right? This is like I love the art. Emphis is busy, his broad face uplifted by the makeshift gas burner in front of him, and using gas to cook. Yes! Thumbs up! With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some bread-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. Oh, God! No! Game! Don't force me to want to eat! This is horrifying! Game, you bastard! This sounds really nice. You watch as he fulfills the set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Alright, let's approach. I want to eat. I've just got 2 bars on my eat scale. Or like dial or whatever. Well, it's not a dial, it's not circular. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvages, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby moths, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Nice. These are like the real people. The salt of the earth. Or like, of the station. Eventually, it's your turn and you shuffle to the front. Emphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up.
First try is free.
Oh God. This is very appropriate. Like, should I take the food? This is, like, very ominous. Like, there's something nefarious happening in there. First try is free. Like, no. Okay, thanks, I guess. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy, the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. Oh God. I want to eat. I'm salivating. I'm literally salivating. I'm feeling something in my stomach. Oh my God, I want a fungus. I want a wok fried fungus now.
I know you. You sleepers.
Okay, I thought I was like this dumb muscular guy and person, whatever. Like now this person is a dumb muscular person. Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear.
A hard life, a lot of stories.
He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes.
I know.
Huh. Alright, so let's tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand.
Next time we can talk some more.
He smiles.
But next time, you pay.
Okay, so essentially, like, this is a brilliant I love it. I love the brilliant concept. Imagine this, like, this is a brilliant concept. Just to stop the game for now. Like, let me go on a slight tangent. Like, let me get stun locked here. This is essentially a bar. This is essentially like the stereotypical bar person, right? Bartender, like serving you drinks as you talk to them, right? Or like supposed to talk to them in films or whatever, right? I usually don't talk to bartenders. But like with food. So as he cooks, instead of preparing the cocktail, like mixing the cocktail, he cooks this really quick meal, right? And you like talk to them, like talk about your pain, about your like horrible spouse or whatever. This is cool. This is a cool idea. This has to happen. Like we need some sort of like this kind of bartender thing, but with fast food. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. Alright, so he slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner's side, and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades.
Next time then, sleeper.
He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You will be back. Oh, nice. Oh, like, thanks, game. Thanks for whetting my bleeding appetite. But now we're 100% on our energy. This is very effective. And so what can we do? So we've got the Alt exchange. This is a hardware exchange. And I saw something about Alts. We can actually get to know Emphis. Emphis looks like... right now, we've seen three characters. Three characters, right? And they're all really nice. I love this. I love this. Oh, God. This game is gonna ruin my week. I have a feeling. So, gain access to the Ort Fabricator. So there is a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. I'm suspecting this is not my profession, because I am like I'm a 0 at engineering. I've got a terrible die, like 3. It's not great. I need to do something like safe actions, because essentially my abilities are not going to help. I shouldn't do intuit, because it's going to go, like, lead me down to minus, like, 2 or 2. So, like, safe actions and, well, yeah, like, endurance is not going to help, just not a -1. And I haven't got any upgrade points, so, like, I'm suspecting these are going to be pretty expensive, pretty rare. So we can do something here. So we can go to the yard. So we can assist a shipbuilder and is for engineer, and it's a risky one. And we can haul materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a load of materials and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. And it's a dangerous task. And unfortunately, it's gonna, if I go here, it's gonna be 25% negative outcome. Which is not great, because it's a dangerous task, and we're gonna suffer pretty significantly if we fail. At the same time, we've got this drive for us. And we can actually go and try help Dragos, like repay him, or like essentially help him repay his debt, and get him back in business. So I'm gonna do that. This is a safe choice. And so we're 25% positive, 15 negative, 55% negative, 25% negative, and 50 neutral. So let's try this action. So even if it's negative, it's gonna be okay. And we've got a positive. Nice. So we advanced on back in business, and we've got some cash. Excellent. So it's like the day's not over, but I will not be able to do any actions. So we can actually go and explore. Let's go to the Rotunda. Let's see what happens here. Oh, interesting. So we can do a critical action, potentially engage. Engage! So getting to know the Rotunda, so we can actually steal dock plans. Have a nudge. Security have to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place and the most dangerous. But at the same time, we can explore it, but we don't have the skills, so it takes intuit, and we are kind of blind and not very sharp. Right, so let's go to the low-end gates and let's see what it's like. Oh, so after some spaces, so we need to pay the low-end toll. After some spaces cause some trouble in the low end, yet again have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. So I don't have the money. I only have like 30 cryo, and it needs 60. Like giving the name yet again, it probably means that we'll have to go there eventually if we want to survive, because the doctor actually mentioned yet again. And so for now, like, there's nothing. It's not gonna happen. We'll have to wait with the this yellow symbol actually meaning that we'll have to wait for this. So Rotunda is pretty clear. I visited the docks. Oh, like the docks. So let's go. There's the shipyard. Oh, I've been at the shipyard, and I haven't been. Like the only place I haven't been at is the ores exchange. Let's see what it's like. Once again, there's actions. So if we have components, we actually can sell them. This is interesting. So this is a repeatable action. Or we can play the exchange. So the flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. So we can speculate. And we don't have a sharp eye, and we don't have any of the sharp mind to actually do the trades. So no, it's not going to happen. We don't have any dice, and it's risky, and, like, we are bad at intuition, so I'm assuming this is pretty much it for the first day, for the first cycle, and we're returning home. Okay, oh, so because we have +1 endurance, we can use a die to sunbathe. Essentially, eat through by sunbathing. This is brilliant. I want to be that. I want to be that creature that like doesn't need to eat. Probably no, but like in general, that would be useful. Imagine like if you are like I don't know, you want to hike in a desert or something, and you don't need to carry food. Like that would be brilliant. Like military, like the military, or like hiking, or like any kind of outdoorsy applications would be brilliant. Right, so like imagine if you like work on an oil rig or something, and like yeah, you don't have any facilities for eating, right? Or don't need to bring in like any supplies. Just like yeah, like send like let the guys like spend some time like outdoors for like an hour a day. Like they don't even have to like sunbathe. They could like cycle or something, like do exercise. This is brilliant. This is useful. Anyway, let's end the cycle. Okay, so we lose 2 energy and 1 condition, and I'm assuming I'll lose 1 of my dice, unfortunately, but there's just no way of improving my condition. So let's end the cycle. I'm probably getting just 3 dice for the next cycle, which is not great. Alright, so this time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeleton will ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station. Like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Let's touch it, not observe it. Let's touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points that you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. Ooh. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do things occur to you. As you do, commas people, as you do, things occur to you. things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then, it is gone. Alright, so we are back home. We've got just 3 dice as promised, and all of them are crap. 4, a 3, and a 1. So essentially, if I'm looking for something with my skill, like 5 is something to use with endurance for like a very good outcome. And like 3 and 2, like at the same time, ugh, this is terrible. This is terrible. So, I'm guessing, let's see if there's something happening at Sabine's. So they are sourcing stabilizer. And I'm guessing I'll have to wait for 2 more cycles. So this place is still not that interesting. So I'm still okay on food for today and for tomorrow. I'm guessing I'm gonna continue working for Dragos. I think it's a good place to spend my resources, my things. And obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in 7 days, well, he's gonna get into trouble, I'm guessing. So a debt is gonna get called in, and he'll probably die or something. But we're already a quarter of the way through the back end business quest, so let's spend some dice here. I'll probably waste the 2, because they'll turn into a 3 and like with just 25% negative outcome, which is okay. Let's see where it leads us. So do some manual salvaging, and we've got a positive outcome. Oh, it's a negative outcome, so nothing bad. I wish they actually color-coded that, because it's yellow, but it said negative outcome. So I just got 5, just a 5. Let's do another one. So it's 50% positive, 50% neutral. Let's see where it leads us. Neutral outcome, so +1 back in business, +10 cryo. Yeah, I have to wait for Sabine to do that thing. And I'm not great at ship mining because I'll have to do other things. And I need to survive, I'll have to wait. If I want to repay Dragos, I just need... you know what, I'll keep like shoving all my dice into helping Dragos. It makes sense. I'm kind of the salvager person, and... yeah, like, it feels kind of like my job. Like, I'm almost neutral outcome, so +1 back in business, +10 cryo. I've almost got to 60 with my money, like to be able to pay the toll, and I'm assuming to access the low-end gates. But for now, I'm assuming this is it. So nothing is happening at Source and Stabilizer to let me survive. I can actually wait for at least 1 more day and not do nothing else, like nothing but work. And I got terrible dice here, okay, so 15, a pot of fungus costs 15, okay. It's incredible, I can feel it, and it's 15, so I'll have to pay it like in 2 days. And I actually can become like a fungus fan, which sounds like much worse than like the food sounds like. And I'm assuming, yeah, right now I don't get any dialogue. I've pretty much explored everything, and it looks like I'll just have to continue to the next day. Where the extractor, yeah, the extractor of stuff. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wrong place. Let's go home. We've had a good, nice cycle of work, so let's end it. Right. Alright, so again the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparks with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms then leaping off into the void. You begin to understand. There are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to pass. But you begin to try. Okay, so we have nodes and we have threads, so connections and nodes, and we can focus on either of these. Okay, let's focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange, but before you can glimpse inside, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. So we can choose the first and the second, and I wonder what kind of choice this is, because I don't know which one I should go for. Okay, let's go for the second. Oh, there was a bit of a light. So the second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam. Testing you, tasting you. Okay, so we can actually pull both of them, so let's pull the first one. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. Alright, so, like, our time isn't endless here. Someone is hunting us. And, yeah, I'm assuming... Okay, so we've got... Okay, something has changed inside you, so the tutorial is not over. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While you can use dice and items to access systems and... While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. So where is it? Oh yeah, it's here. Oh, interesting. So this is what we've been seeing. So we've got Yatagan Agent. So this is the cyberpunk mode, essentially. Key node 9426. Or is there going to be a key node 0451? I wonder. So we've got these Havanage Agent, Solheim Gate S7, Keynode number. Okay, I don't know. Let's go talk to Yatagan Agent. Let's see what it looks like. So so data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the Eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, typo, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the... Yes! Tabletop heritage. You have, like, if you don't know, it's dice placement game. This is a dice placement game. So there are, like, this whole subclass of tabletop games, which are dice placement games, in which you, essentially, like, at the beginning of the round, like, which is a typical situation, you roll a bunch of dice, and you can allocate them, like, use these dice to do actions, right? And so sometimes, like, it doesn't matter what the value of the die is. Like, sometimes it matters. Sometimes you can actually control your dice. Like, you can do actions or spend resources to change the value of the die. And so, yeah. And this is very specifically, like, in the previous actions, it was like the value of the die actually just leads to certain outcomes. Like, you can use any value. And here you need to use specific values. This is interesting. If you're interested, I see there are 2 of you like listening, and if anyone listens to this afterwards, first, thank you. Second, if you're interested in these kinds of board games, the most famous and the most appreciated and like really one of the best of this type is Castles of Burgundy. It's cheap. You can buy it for like 30 euros new, in Europe at least. And it's language independent, and it's absolutely wonderful. It has its flaws, but it's excellent. And you can find it on Board Game Arena, actually. You can actually play it for free online. And it's wonderful. And the interface skill will give us... Okay, so the interface skill essentially gives us more flexibility in our die values, which is great. Okay, so I'm kind of tempted to do this. So we've got our Yataghan agent. So some gang enforcers' implants are chirping out comm signals. Time to see what they are talking about. So yeah, this is important. Like we've seen this Yataghan name a bunch of times. It seems important. And we've got 2 1s. We've got 2 1s. So let's try and hack the agent. Hack the agent's implants. So let's extract the data. Oh, I feel like a hacker. So we've got a bunch of Yataghan data. And okay, so I'm guessing it's not just information. I will be able to then use this item in some actions, I'm assuming. So let me look at. Let me look at the toll booth. No. This is one of the places where Yataghan showed up, and here we just need to pay. We just need to cough up the cash. Right. And so, like, I can actually do it. The problem is... okay, so 15 cryo for the food, and I'll have to pay the food, unfortunately. But let's first go to work. Let's do Dragos' yard. And I think because I have a 6, I'll go for hull dissection. Because I'm suspecting because it's a risky action, it'll probably give me something valuable. And I want to get this back in business quest done. So, oh, by the way, I've forgotten about Sabine. Sabine, how is she doing? No, I have to wait for another cycle here before anything happens. So I'll go to Dragos' yard and do this risky business. Even though I could have +1 for manual salvage, but it's not gonna give me anything. Like if I use my one die it's crap. So let's go for hull dissection. So and let's see where it leads me. Well, it'll lead me to a positive outcome, and let's see what it is. So +2 back in business, +15 cryo. This is kind of crappy. So what I'm gonna do. Oh, by the way. I think in that toll, I will only... Yeah, I'll just need to pay 50 cryo and not do anything else. So, yeah, let's do some more work. So if I use a 1, it's gonna give me 50% negative, but there is a 50% chance I will actually advance my back-end business quest. So let's toss that coin. And I've got a neutral outcome. Great. So I can actually pay both the toll and the food, which is great. And next cycle I will complete the back-end business quest, which is great. Right. So let's go and pay the toll. Input 60 cryo. Okay, so you hand over the chits to the Yataghan enforcer, and he nods you through Like, how you knock people through? It's like it sounds, I mean, like, I know what they meant. I think it's like a correct way of describing it. But it sounds like as you pass by that enforcer, he like keeps nodding and nodding and nodding, like, I don't know, like some sort of a bobblehead. Okay, let's go get some food and then I'll explore that low end. And I advanced on Fungus Fan. And I just got 3 energy, not full energy. This sucks. Okay, let's see what low end is like. Ramshackle Residential District. So every RPG city needs to have one. So, oh god, this is very appropriate. So what we can do here, we can we can block maintenance if we are engineers. Maintained by their residents, the ramshackle blocks are always in need of repairs. Helping out is a good way to make friends. So it's a risky thing, and it's an engineer, so we're not particularly good at engineering. And so, but it leads us to become a low-ender. No one knows you here. You'll need to change that if you want to access the low-end's residents and facilities. I may see, like, why block maintenance? It sounds like you're blocking the maintenance of the residential block. I don't know what it means. Like, it sounds. Oh, block maintenance, as in like the residential block maintenance. Okay, you're maintaining the blocks. Okay, good. But this is brilliant. So you've got a repeatable action to play Tavla, which is clearly like a Latin rendition of tabula, like of a rendition of the Latin tabula, which is like the board. Right, you gotta play board games. You gotta play board games. This is like breaking the fourth wall. The clack of filter caps can be heard in every concourse in the low end as the residents played rotating rounds of this game for cryo. I'm kind of regretting not getting any into it. I think like there was a character that actually had intuition, higher intuition, not -1. But this would have been brilliant. But unfortunately, well, I can't. I suck at this. I suck at brain. I suck at brain. And I'm guessing this is the end of the day. I've fed myself for 2 days. Let me look at all of the other places. We've got like Havinage Agent. We've got a new Keynode. We've got like Yatagan Agent. It's the same. So okay. It's the same agent. So, and I haven't found anything in the low ends. Let's look at these like keynodes. Yeah, I just need to use my ones. Actually, those die values might actually have been. It's just ones. Oh, so in this place, we've got this Solheim Gate S7. We need to use specific data, so we need Solheim Cipher to, I'm assuming, to crack this. So I'm suspecting that Yatagan data actually might help us not in specific quests, but in actually advancing in the cyberpunk universe. Yeah, so Havinage Cipher. So we've got like this gate keeps traffic out of the Havinage shipyards internal network. Yeah. Interesting. So this is a really interesting, oh, it's a 2. This is a kind of interesting, minigame. But anyway, let's go and rest. Finally. Go sleep. And actually, so tomorrow I'm getting to meet my doctor. And... oh, I'm also hunted. Oh my god, I'm hunted. And it's like in 7 days, or 7 cycles, I'll be hunted to death, I'm assuming. Someone is out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. And let's imagine what's gonna happen. And really nice, I've got 2 6s and a 2. Okay, so I've left my container. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper! Wake up! Okay, let's turn and see who they are. They're called Feng, a Havinage systems engineer. thing is coming down the corridor towards you, wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you! Do I know you? He grins. You do now? He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around, just want to chat. You're staying in that thing. He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main walkway. Havenage. We are all one dysfunctional family. Thing puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry, I'm with systems. Havenage? You are Havenage. Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk, or we either emerged as a response to or a continuation of Andre Erlin's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid this topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not all I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity, and well, I know little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. But, well, this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about your sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okay, so we've got... I'm assuming this guy is going to ask us to do some stuff in the cyberspace. In the cyberpunk universe. Okay, so... let's go and see the doctor. So the first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it! Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how yet again. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. So, I am the test case. That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar parts of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead of it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with a new protein chains which act as passcodes with your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. And so, which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. Okay. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know if for sure is to inject the vial. They begin raising the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay. So, we have options of, okay, let's do it. Let's do this. How sure are you? And I don't have a choice, and I think that's the appropriate answer. Really don't have a choice. Like, it's either death or death. I think you're right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses the syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They say this is kind of like 19th century technology. Like, oh, we've got like vials and ampules. Like, yeah, we crack the top, like the sealed top to access the drug. It's like... Okay, so they tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. Ooh, Dolby Digital. Right, a sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fades into darkness as you settle back against the bed. Yes, they've given you drugs. Obviously. What do you expect from smugglers? Oh yeah, they're gonna give you medications that nobody has. No, they're gonna give you what they trade in. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater. Prickling waves of cold. When you sink back, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of the slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how yet again acquired a case of the stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out in the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Alright, so... Oh, nice! We are fully stable, so next cycle we're getting 5 dice, which is brilliant. Let's see what the price is for another injection. Oh, it's 100. This is pretty pricey. But I'm guessing, okay, so, like, buy a vial of stabilizer, I really, like, I need to get the money. And to get the money, I need to help, Dragos. And by helping Dragos, I'll complete the bloody back in business quest. Or drive in this game. So let's do that. And since I got 2 6s, I can do a whole dissection and not worry about the risk. So let's do that. And we'll be back in business. So we've got 15 cryo, so I'm gonna get fed. And so, yeah, and so what happens? So let's see, no, active, repeat Dragos. And, actually, like, I don't feel like this game really needs tracking because, like, everything is so apparent. Like games, generally, like, games that need tracking like, have these huge worlds where you don't see everything at a glance. Right, like all these RPGs where you explore stuff and everything. There you need your GPS. But here, like, it's not that critical. But, so he's back in business. So, what happens? Oh, now I can talk to Dragos. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. Yeah. So, what happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. So, no, I mean, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, she shrugs. The ship creaks like a carving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I don't know, I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the S&R freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on the side. Winter Light. Let's do this. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Okay, so we have discovered one new drive. We've completed our first drive. Each drive says this is still a tutorial. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade points to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top right of the screen. So we've got an upgrade. Alright, so yeah, we've got our first upgrade. I'm kind of expecting it to be like that. So for every quest completed, we're gonna get an upgrade points. And let me look at the yard. So we can actually do some of the salvage. And forensic trawl, investigating the winter light means picking through its systems and structures with care. It won't pay, but you may find answers. And we could actually do ship breaking and tougher than slicing up loose salvage. But Dragos is happy to pay you a fixed wage if you're up to it, but engineer, and it's a dangerous task. And it's intuition. So we've actually lost an easy job here. And so, but we actually can access stuff on the shipyard. So we've got +1 endure, but it's a dangerous thing. It's kind of ideally for a 5. But we can actually help a shipbuilder. This actually looks like has potential for a job. And like an engineering skills. And Rotunda, we can explore it. So it's essentially like exploring the docks. Surgery is just the drugs. Can I sell it? No, I can't sell components, so I have to sell components, not data. So food is pretty obvious, and at low end, it's Intuit or Engineer. Interesting, so like, Intuit, like, shows up in lots of places, but I don't feel like it's a good idea to just try and counteract my weaknesses. I feel like I maybe should go for Engineer. Engineer, efficient extractor, a chance to get random scrap item on engineer which is kind of nice, because like there is a market to sell stuff, which is great. Why not? All right. So also endure it's hard to kill. So we keep 2 dice, even when the condition is breaking. When the condition is breaking, I'm assuming when we are like essentially at the bottom of the condition line of the condition scale. Then we would be supposed to have like we would have normally just 1 die. We would have 2, which is a nice thing, but it's not really like an urgent bit. So I don't think I'll go for the 2nd upgrade points on my endure, even though it would improve my endure rolls. But at the same time, I don't see any opportunities. Like at Auto Exchange, it's not endure. It's like the only place where I can get endure is pretty much here. So for sunbathing, or here at the shipyard, and I'm not gonna get any bonuses like immediately, right? So I have a feeling that I'll probably go for something else. Engineer is interesting. Interface, transfer intercept, chance to get cryo on interface actions, which is not bad. And thrill seeker, oh god, I'm losing my English. Thrill seeker, chance to gain energy after any engage action. This is also interesting. So, you know what? I'm gonna go for engineer. I'm gonna go for like a boring guy. Okay, so I've become an efficient extractor. And you know what? Let's go and assist a shipbuilder. So it's... What? Why am I not getting a +1 to engineer? Wait a second. Yeah, I've... Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, interesting. So I'm not getting the bonus. It's just the ability, and the bonus is a separate upgrade point. So essentially, this is what, like 4 by 5. It's 20 upgrade points that I can actually spend potentially if I don't have any negatives. And all characters actually have negatives. So what I'm gonna do, anyway, in any case, I'm gonna go for this is kind of interesting because hoarding materials is a dangerous task. And it's probably gonna give me some money also. And I've got a 6, so I'm gonna go for that. I'm suspecting it's gonna give me like more benefits in general. Let's see where it leads me. Alright, I've got a positive outcome, +2 yard hand and +1 energy. So you do well, and when their shift is up, a couple of hands invite you to a share of ration pack and some of their well-worn advice. So I've got some food out of this, and yeah, an advance on my yard hand scale. So the only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. So I haven't got any money, which sucks. But this is better than nothing. Let's see if I can go into cyberspace and use my 2 on something. I think Havanage agent actually used a 2, so let's see. Havanage member. Excuse me, I needed some. Yeah. Yeah. So a Havanage main member is broadcasting on an open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. So let's steal some data from Havanage. So we can bypass, extract data, and let's see what it is. So we've got some Havanage data. Yeah, very useful. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place.
A taste.
The voice makes you shiver. It's all somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf.
Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing.
Okay, so we can resist or still stay still. This is kind of scary. I'm gonna resist. You struggle against the thread, and it tightens in response. A glittering garrote.
Please hold.
The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on.
Entity identify. Origin serial cadence.
The figure faces you expectantly. Okay, let's say who we are. Sleeper, S and up.
Unknown. Known.
The figure's strange head rotates.
Brackish signature. Of and not of.
Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop? The figure halts in its threads, its head twitching.
Entity. Your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal rights to sentience?
So the choices are no, or I'm a person. Okay, let's say I'm a person.
Incorrect. You are an entity.
All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision.
You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock.
Hunter shimmers with fury.
I will find access. I will interface.
Okay, sealed dock? Okay, there's some sort of a secret on the station. Okay, sealed dock?
An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet.
Hunter extends a razor-edged thread.
I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent.
Okay, let's strike it. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Yeah. Protects, lift, and separate. Anyway, wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Okay, this is kind of ominous. Oh, we've got a hunter. And with these two weird, I don't know, bars? This is kind of ominous, but I'm out of... Oh, interesting. So these docks have clocks, essentially. So, like, next day, Dock B2 is gonna have something. So it takes several cycles to reach the starboard belt and return loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. So there's gonna be some sort of a supply of scrap next cycle. And yeah, this is pretty much it. I've seen all the dialogue, I'm guessing, and time to get to bed. End the cycle. Ah, nice. Okay, I need to eat. I really need to eat, and I've got 5 dice. A 5, 2 5s, a 3, 4, and 2, which is nice. Actually, it's really nice because I'll be able to use 2 and 4 for it to improve my my dice, say, working at the shipyard. So I can actually use the 4 to work here. And potentially get a positive, 50% positive outcome. Let's see where it leads us. Maybe I'll get some food. This might be great. Positive outcome! Yes, I've got some energy, so I will not have to buy any food. And I've got like halfway the yard hand challenge. Okay, so oh yeah, Thing wanted us to talk to us. Let's see what he's got to say. Sleeper, Thing catches your attention as you approach the Havnage building, leaning against a bay door on the side, to the side of the entrance. Oh, he's been waiting for you all day. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button of the bay creak as the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen lights. Yes, the besotted blue screen of death. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans you on the server stack and gestures around. You like it? It's a mess. Hey, this whole station is a mess. This is what I have to work with. He taps nearby server stack with bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of system we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, Air 1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they're seeing a concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks, and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines. They hum all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can't you? Yes, we can see this. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You'll light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fen notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. Oh, they are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help you with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see. Access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. Hello is his voice below a hum. Even of Havanage there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. So, what do you say? What do you say, Sleeper? Well, yeah, let's do it. He looks a nice enough guy, and not really aligned with enemy interests. So, Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depth of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. Okay, I need to plug it into an old network gate. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods to the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step blinking back out into the passage. those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Okay, so we've got a new drive. So study the winter lights, so we can actually investigate the wreckage. Extract the past, so we can do stuff for Feng. Feng wants to dig into old Solheim networks and seek of secrets that could change the future of the station. So let's see what we can actually do. Oh, this is the shipyard. We've been doing stuff at shipyard. And let's see what Feng is. So, we can, Feng will pay you well for any Solheim data dredge up from the Eye's old systems. What he does with it is anyone's guess. Let's see, we've got some data here. So, Havanage data. Oh, he wants Solheim data. So, we've got a Solheim cipher. Oh, so Cypher just gives me access. It gives me access to the the original station. Okay, well, I remember where it was. So like Rotunda, I think it was. Yeah. So we've got Solheim Gate S7, and we can actually plug the Solheim cipher in it. Let's see where it leads us to. So we've lost the Solheim cipher, but we've got Gates S7 access. So let's leave and see what... Okay, so we've got a bunch of Solheim nodes. Okay, this is interesting. Huh. And I love that they use the AE ligature here, so It's like sound like it's an old English letter. So Solheim node A07, A21, and A32. Okay, let's look at 07. So, this network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. So I need a 4 for it, so no dice. Literally no dice. So, a Solheim demon attempts to protect this node, squeaking up protective protocols like a mantra. This is a very, like, neuromancer thing. So, I actually have a die for this, and 21, I don't have the die. This node is leaking corrupted contract lists from the early days of the system's Palladium rush. Okay. Right, so this is pretty much like a way to get money. Okay, I'm not like an interface, I'm not a hacker, but I don't have a penalty, and let's try this. I'm just interested. So extract Solheim data. And let's see what it gets me with Feng. I kind of like the Feng's storyline, so I like the character, and I'd like to find out what actually leads where it actually leads me. Alright, I've delivered some data. I'd advanced. I've got 15 cryo, which is nice. And, yeah, so I'll advance on scoping the systems. So, but that's it for today with this one. And I've got 2 5s and a 2. Let me go to Dragos' yard and let's look at the ship. Alright, okay, so Dragos seems increasingly nervous about your presence in the yard. Not sure he's going to hold his nerve much longer. So, probably there is going to be some sort of a... Oh, it's going to increase. It's going to increase over time, which is not great. So we've got these ships, and I don't have the skills. Oh, we've got a new scrap freighter. Okay, let's see what we've got in this place. So we can actually buy some scrap. Most of what comes in from the starboard belt is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. So the big stuff goes to the shipyard, this valuable stuff to the markets. They'll let you buy a few crates, but not much more for 20 cryo. Alright, so the freighter will stay docked for as many cycles it takes to offload this haul of scrap into the Havanage yards. And we can do endure, we can help with unloading the containers. And I've got 2 5s, so I might actually do something. Like I'm really good at enduring, so let's endure. And get an effective 6. And it's a dangerous action, so... You finish unloading ahead of schedule, and one of the crew invites you aboard to share a warm meal as thanks for your efforts. So I've got 2 food, a bar of food, and 20, oh, like, was it 20? A cryo. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna buy some scrap. I'm interested in what it is. So I've got a random scrap item. So I've got a ship mined fragment. Could be reassembled with the right tools and a few more fragments. Interesting. Let me explore some more. Lake Rotunda was... I can steal dock plans or explore the Rotunda. I needed 100 to get another injection, and so this is... I wonder if I can sell the component. No. They want scrap components, and this is ship mined fragments. Actually, remember the word ship mined. So build a ship mined. Gain access to the ore fabricator. And where was it? Oh, what was the name? Ore fabricator. Rotunda, scrapyard. Yeah, ore exchange. Okay, trusted trader. I'm not gonna become that. I'm too dumb for that. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm suspecting the Rotunda might be the place to actually do that, but, yeah. I'll have to explore that some more. At low end, we've got block maintenance. I can do some block maintenance. It's a risky task. Actually get friendly with the people at low end. So this is one option. The other option is actually to do some hard labor at the scrapyard, because it's endure. So with a 5, I'll get a guaranteed positive outcome, which will get me very, very close to advancing on the yard hand thing, on the yard hand scale. I don't know where it leads me, because it's not a drive, it's not a quest, so it'll probably lead me something. So, and these guys give food. These guys give food. That's enough of a motivation for me. So I've got +2 yard hand and +1 energy, which means like I'll have to like waste less money on actually eating. And so if I go for another endure, so it's 25% positive, another haul materials, it's kind of 25% negative, and it's dangerous. So it's no, I don't think I'll leave it for another day. So I have a 3, a die of 3, and it's not great. I can do, like, I don't have any... Like, I'd like to do endurance here. Or maybe a safe action. I've got endure here, but it's also dangerous. I really don't want to, like, get into trouble. Don't want to risk it yet. I've got engineer, and it's risky, and it's 25% negative. Yeah, let's go and help. Let's go and help. Let's see if it gets me anywhere. Negative, I lost energy. Yeah, you help an older resident to revive their terminal, but after hours of assembling and reassembling, you realize you have fried the CPU. Okay, this is terrible. Obviously, this happens to me. Okay, anyway, this is the end of the day. Let's, end the cycle. Lose condition, lose food. Okay, next cycle starts. As the hunter will come in 6 days, or like 5 more like, which is terrible, but I have got pretty nice dice. So I've got a 6, a 5, a 3, a 4, and a 1. The 5 is great for the shipyard. So let's go to the shipyard and get a guaranteed positive outcome.
So, and it'll get me, like promoted as a yard hand. Let's see where it leads me, actually. So... Nice, so I've been promoted as a yard hand. And so I've got some food, so I'll survive for another day without buying food, which is great. And so let's see what I've got. So I've got an access to Lem and Mina. Oh, I've got actually access to other stuff. So, like, Havanage offices, administration for the shipyard, and we've got unit assembly, sidereal horizon assembly line. Okay, you know what? I'm tempted to go for Lem and Mina, but it's been over 2 hours, and I'll have to end this soon. So I will... No, this is brilliant. I love this. Let's look at the administration and what it looks like. So these guys... Okay, so they are looking for stuff. They are looking for stuff. Sophisticated tech is rare on the eye, so the shipyard is happy to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. Okay, so I've got the item, and let's see where it leads me. Okay, I've got 30 cryo, so I spent 20 for that scrap, and I've got 30 cryo, like, oh, I've turned a profit. And so, and then we can track Yatagan. So a slate in the office advertises that Havanage are looking for informants on gang activity in the eye. They'll pay. Okay, I've got some Yatagan data, so, like, pay me, people, pay! Nice, 10 cryo. So I'm at 70, and I need 100 to get another vial of condition, so this is great. So let's look at unit assembly. This is going to be actions, and I'm pretty much getting some sort of career here. Really cool. So like we can do structural fitting. So the sidereal horizon assembled block by block. You earn the place on the teams welding those blocks together, so we can become a welder's mate eventually. And so we can interface. The sidereal horizon is webbed with complex systems bundled like nerves in a body. Your job is to lay these systems in, and so we can become a junior tech. I'm assuming we're going to become an engineer because I already have 1 point in that skill, and, well, yeah. And also, whenever I use engineer actions, I actually can get a random scrap item, which is nice. Alright, so this is going to give me... Okay, so this is an active scene. I'm not going to look at it right now because it's going to be a long dialogue tree, and it's probably going to be cool, but not today. Alright, so let's look at the scrap exchange. This is kind of interesting. So, you know, I'm going to buy some more. That actually has brought me some cash. So we've got, oh, another ship mine fragment. So let's go buy some more. Bloody hell, this is brilliant. Okay, we've got some crap. We've got some scrap. So I've spent 40, and let's see. I think there was a market that actually bought stuff. Yeah, we can sell components. Let's see what they pay for them. Okay. I lost 8 cryo, but I've become slightly more of a trusted trader. This is nice. They're essentially like turned like in-game reputation into these kinds of bars that advance and advance. This is cool. This is insanely cool. It's obvious that you can't do everything, but like, yes, I want that. Like, and it makes sense. It makes sense. I just like immediately reminded of, say, Fallout 2, where you could actually build, like, this is the first game where you could actually, like, I remember where you could actually build reputations in individual cities and like become friends with it. Like, even though it quite often didn't mean anything, unless you like they hated you and like attacked you on sight. Right, so like all of these wonderful things, and here it's like the core element. You do things and you gain reputation, and it's probably gonna lead you to other opportunities. This is great. This is kind of a social RPG. This is nice. Without like doing like the role-playing stuff. Like you can even role-play here. Really, I'm trying to be an engineer. I'm not trying to be this hero that say, like, obviously I have like certain pressures I need to survive. I need to like defend myself probably. But at the same time, I like have like even a little career at the shipyard. I started like hauling all these, like disassembling scrap and looking for stuff in scrap, and now I'm like gonna weld stuff. I'd like to like maybe get some engineering skill, but like yeah, nice. You know what? Let's extract the past. I want to do some Solheim for Fang. So you needs 3 bits. I'm gonna go into cyberspace and get some Solheim stuff. So let's try an 21. So we need a 1. And this one we needed a 4, I think, yeah. So let's go 4. It's an expensive action. So this network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. Well, let's deal with this. Extract the data. So we've got some Solheim data, and I'm somehow doing the hacking, even though I'm not that much of a hacker. And so let's spend another die on this Solheim node. Let's bypass it. This node is leaking corrupted contractor, quote-unquote, lists from the early days of the system's Palladium rush. I wonder why contractor is in quotes. Alright, and interesting, so these bars are kind of advancing with Hunter. So I wonder if kind of maybe it attracts that creature. Alright, yeah, let's go to Fang, talk to Fang, and maybe give him some data. Because that's what he wanted. Here you go. Let's feed him the data. Scoping the systems. And we've done that. We've got money! Money! This is the best bit! I'm getting money for the dice. Okay, the action is complete. And I'm assuming I just need to leave the place and see if it's changed. Yes, it's gonna be a dialogue. Okay, let's see the dialogue with Fang. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Fang's voice echoed from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These shaky shitheads! Alright, oh, snaky, not shaky, snaky. Snaky shitheads! Alright, so Snaky. Sleeper! Fang's sliding head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I've been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in front of a set of monitors, mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at the monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Shitheads? Fang laughs. Maybe not all of them, but what kinds of shitheads? You mean Solheim? Bingo! He taps the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. So, is friend of yours? Fang gives you a sideways look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. In Havenage? That's it. He's right here on the station now. Fangs leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Fang leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fangs raises his eyebrows at you. Oh, Hardin was keeping the money coming in from Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept all the profits. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that cut of the work they did went straight back to Solheim. So how do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Thing turns back into the screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Thing's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge, and the work that pays for that existence, the cycles of hard extraction out of in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors, willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing Hardin once again with its finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. Surely it can't be him. Thing relaxes a little. Who knows? It turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now big shots in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Thing brings up a map of the lower eye. Havanage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened flowed to the top. Thing zooms in on the far yards. Then grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Then holds up a thumbnail. Then holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. It turns the drive between its fingers, and it'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Thorhurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Things put a hand. I'm getting tired. Thing puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Thing grins. If you can extract yourself a Havanage cipher from the Havanage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slop the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. I'm working for them. Come on, I can access them. So what do you say? You up for it? Sure! I knew it! I knew you'd be happy to catch this snake. And don't worry, once we nail this guy, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. I haven't forgotten. Thing scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here. There's something wrong here, and aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the Eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you are intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder of the past. Past is ever truly past. Okay. So I've got available upgrades. No. So I've just, I haven't. Yeah, it's still continuing, so I need to extract the past. So I need... I think I have the cipher for Havanage. It's just a... It's just Havanage data. So let's see. I'm suspecting if I fill up this bar, it's gonna something bad is gonna happen, and it's probably gonna reset after the end of the cycle. So I've got like a couple of Havanage agents. So it's a 2. I won't be able to do it. Another Havanage. It's a 2. No, this is not happening. Yatagan, a 1. And this place, another Yatagan. Yeah, Yatagans are 1s. Yeah. This is not happening, and... Okay, so I'm not gonna do any hacking today. So get to know Emphis. Unfortunately, this is not happening, even though it's a cool character, but I really don't need to eat just yet. Study the winter lights. I can investigate the wreckage and survive. Buy a vial of stabilizer. And I don't have the money, but I can sell a bunch of stuff. So at the offices, so Havanage offices. So let's get this fragment done. And get ourselves a 30, which is nice. I've got 102 cryo. I'm a richo. I'm a richo. All right. So can I do anything else at Solar? Freight? I can do this dangerous thing, but it feels like a waste of a 6. It feels like a waste of a 6. A 6 is like guaranteed action for me. Yeah, and this feels like a bad place to do that. You know what? I'm gonna spend some money on my... should I talk to Sabine? I don't know, like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Am I gonna get just a vial of it in my inventory, or is it gonna like reset it to my just reset my bar? I'm probably not gonna go for this next this day, this cycle. I'm wondering if I should do some structural fitting. It's a safe action. Oh, both of these actions are actually safe. Havanage offices. This is selling stuff. Or like maybe explore this Dragos's yard. Maybe work as an engineer. You know what I'm gonna do? The cutter salvage. Ship breaking is tougher than slicing up those loose salvage. But Dragos is happily to pay you a fixed wage if you're up to it. So I've got a 6. Let's do the 6. Alright, so I've cleared the yard and I've got 16 cryo. Okay, I'm not gonna use my 3 on the engineer bits. I think I will go maybe do some engineering here. It's a safe bet, so... Or maybe I could go for... Okay, Rotunda gave me... Yeah, I could have done, like, engage, maybe. Maybe should have used the... Oh, there are so many options, so few dice. Yeah, I'm gonna go unload turds. Unload containers. So there is like a small chance of me getting like a negative outcome, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous. No, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do the welding stuff. I'll eventually get to +1 engineering, so it makes sense. So let's use my last die on structural fitting. Let's see where it leads me. Yeah, I got positive outcome. 12 cryo plus 2 welder's mates. Excellent. Now I've got a random item. Oh, scrap components. Excellent, excellent. I can sell them. Okay, engineer's already working out for me. And it's already brought me... Okay, so more trusted traitor reputation and 12 cryo. I'm gonna rage. I'm getting like loaded here. You know what? I'm gonna go and buy the stabilizer. Let's see what it gives me. What gets me. Yeah, I've just got the item. I've just got the item. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand and a thin film marked with holes and sigils unrolls from around the vial. At one end, it has a hard metal strip, a handle. Okay, let's look at the film. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It is perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word among the markings. You can make out a word among the markings. Passkey. Is this an entry key for somewhere? Okay, let's look at the handle. The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted into it. 207F. And then crudely scratched into the handle at some later date, low end. For a moment, you consider going back to the surgery to return the key, and then quickly think better of it. Did Sabine want you to have this? Or is it Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to the low end and find out. Okay. And I've got my... Oh, nice. I've got my upgrade points and I've got some sort of an achievement. Planned obsolescence. Okay, I'm getting a +1 on my engineer thing. I want a bonus on all of that. Wonderful stuff. And, okay, Sabine's surgery. I can buy some more stabilizers. This was kind of part of my quest. So now I'm gonna have some potential for survival. So, Unit 207F. So we can actually use our pass key, and let's see where it leads us. You find the entrance to the apartment. Its passkey symbol obscured beneath layers of graffiti. Who lives here? Let's see. Who indeed? So, we've unlocked the apartment, so let's see. As you push the door open, the automatic lights flicker on inside the apartment. They reveal yellowing plastic panels, the curved shape of wall-mounted utility units, the detritus of a routine life arranged on every surface. You step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber lights of the aging fixtures glaze everything with pale orange. The work surfaces hold a variety of objects, indistinct in the dull lighting. A pale blue light drifts from a doorway at the end of the room. Now let's look at the surfaces. Smudges through the thin layer of dust suggest a recent, rare, and hurried visit. They trace a path to the water dispenser, the auto wash, then to a cabinet still half open. On the shelf sits an empty pill case. Okay, let's go to the doorway. You cross the cramped utility room with its auto wash, dispensers, water closet, towards the doorway. Through a doorway is a dark, warm room, lit only by the faint glow of a terminal screen. Okay, let's look at the room. A bunk is tucked into the wall, the blankets ruffled, a wall desk glitters with rows of vials and containers. A briefcase lab sits open, loaded with rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, controlled. So let's look at the terminal. As you approach, there is a crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper! Sabine's voice shakily echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. I'm sorry I can't be there. I've had to make alternate arrangements. You hear rattling noises, static. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare to show my face. Something is happening within Yatagan. I no longer trust them. Their voice becomes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatagan was supposed to hide me, to protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate. And then after that, I was too tired to care. A noise like waves over the recording. A noise like waves over the recording. But I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw the dead. I need insurance. Something I can hold against them. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information. And as you know, you need me. A pause. Something clicking in the dark. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. Another pause. I know sleepers. I have been here before. I can help you, but not with Yatagan's nose around my neck. Give me data. Give me information. Give me something that I can use against Yatagan. Then I can get out, and you can get what you need. Please. Waves of static cut into Sabine's voice. Bring it here to my terminal. I'll get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Sabine living here, working at the desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its twice hiss. Then silence. Okay, let's access the terminal. You sit in front of the humming terminal and hit a few keys. Sabine has left an access port open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. It seems Sabine might not trust you as much as they want you to think. Who does Sabine needs to hide from? And what debt do they owe to Yatagan? You try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that without stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lamp on the desk. Is glassware glinting in the dark? You turn away and leave, the door clanking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice the scrawled graffiti of a blade on the opposing wall. Yatagan. You feel yourself being drawn into something you don't quite understand. Okay, so it's a place for us to... We've got a new drive. Get Sabine out. So I've got some Yatagan data, actually, so... let's see what I'll get for it. Oh, no! I don't have any Yatagan data. I actually sold it. What did I sell it? Oh, I sold it to Havanage. Okay, so I wasted it. Okay. So, enough data for Yatagan's activities, Sabine might be able to bargain for her freedom. Oh, now it's a she. Okay. And I think I sold Yatagan stuff to Havanage. Yeah. So I kind of wasted it. Even though there are options to look for it in the cyberspace, there were Yatagan agents. But this is going to be for another day, literally, not cycle. It's been almost 3 hours, like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm already starting to yawn. It's pretty late here, and I have other stuff to do tomorrow, actually, and I want to be awake tomorrow. Early awake tomorrow. Anyway, thanks to everyone who's been listening and watching this one. This game is brilliant. I'm gonna play it. I don't think I'm gonna stream it. I'm actually do some streaming of it on Twitch. I'll see if I'm in the mood for it, because obviously reading all this stuff and like not reading it, that doesn't feel right. And reading it like is a bit taxing on my voice, and it's slightly more effortful. But at the same time, it's enjoyable, and I actually might do I might actually stream it. So you can find me, Hexaboo Save Scammer. Look it up on Twitch. I really generally don't do Twitch streams like privately, and so yeah. But I actually might do this because this game, I want to play it through. I really want to play it through. This is a great game, absolutely wonderful, great writing, great interesting board game based systems. Really exciting story. I see that there's gonna be different paths for me to actually go into, and so I'm really looking forward to them. So it might actually happen. But what is actually going to happen, so in terms of my streams, I'm still working on my next video. I'm kind of procrastinating quite a lot on it, but I'll try getting it out. But speaking of streams, there is going to be an unofficial Twitch stream this Friday at 8 p.m. British. It's going to be on Slytherin TV. So I'm gonna play some Valorant Victory. I'm playing like a bunch of Stalingrad scenarios in sequence, and it's, well, I'm continuing. So last Friday I actually did 2 scenarios, and I'm gonna do a couple of scenarios more this Friday. So it's gonna be this Friday at 8 p.m. British, and so next Monday I'm going to do a stream, one of my Monday streams. It's either going to be a stream covering some mods for Panzer Court 2, or maybe a retro game. We'll see. So, like, for the Mondays in May, it's going to be one stream of Panzer Court 2 and one stream of a retro game, of a game that wasn't made in the 21st century, okay? So, I don't know what's going to be. I have a few ideas, and it really depends on my mood. So, both of these things will happen this month, but we'll see in what sequence. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching, joining in. I see one person joining right now, so like you'll have to rewind and see, like, listen to me